Hi everybody, John here again. This is a follow-up to my last video. So my last video was the contribution to the thread of the 20 great British bands. I purposely didn't include Prog because I felt, well, it would have been difficult for me as a big fan of progressive rock to, choose which ones to include. So I kind of avoided that, and I made the suggestion that maybe I could follow up and do a video about the 20 great British prog bands, which is what I'm doing now. I hope you find this interesting. I'm going to start off with some honourable mentions because there are so many and I couldn't fit them all in, but there's a few that I felt I couldn't not include. So honourable mentions are some of the sort of better known, some might say proto-prog perhaps, sort of prog in its early days before it was sort of seen as such. This is Procol Harum. On this album it's got some beautiful music. It's got a very long track on here called In Hell 'Twas in I. I can't remember how long it goes on for. It goes on forever, but it was covered by Transatlantic very, very effectively, but it's a great album, one that you should certainly check out. Next honourable mention is Ive Got The Nice. Again, proto-prog, I guess, possibly. This is where Keith Emerson came from in his early days, so he was sort of doing what he went on to do with ELP quite early on. Another honourable mention, I'm going to include the Moody Blues in this because I think, there's an argument to be said that they are kind of proto-prog too, but certainly a very, very important band, a very important British band for the genre, or the subgenre. And also, finally, in this honourable mention, I'm going to include UK. This perhaps isn't their best or most better known album, but it's a record that doesn't get shown very much, but I'm using it to represent UK. I've got them in honourable mentions purely because, well, they were always a bit of a super group, weren't they, really, rather than a band. So here's my list, and I'm going to count down from 20 down to number 1, and we'll see how we go from here. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this. So, in the background, I'm playing, this is it, first and only CD which I'm going to show because they don't have anything on vinyl by this band. This is Porcupine Tree. They're coming in at number 20. It's about their second album. I heard somebody say, I think it was, who was it that said this recently? I can't remember now. They considered them sort of a little bit of a lesser band because they basically were doing what Pink Floyd had already done sort of 30 or 40 years before, but well, I don't know. I wouldn't like to say, but this is the Sky Moves Sideways album. So that's number 20. Another modern band I've got in here is the Big Train. They're coming in at number 19. They are very, very popular right now. Sadly, they lost their main vocalist, didn't they? But they're still producing records, and they are a really popular progressive rock band from the UK. Still going very, very strong. Number 18, I've got The Wake by, well, not the album, but the band, IQ. This is The Wake representing them. This is the record sent to me by James Griffiths of VCLT 2 or 3 years ago now. So they are number 18. There we go. One of my favourite bands is It Bites. So they're coming in at number 17 on this list. I love them. Brilliant. They're often dismissed out of hand by many people that like progressive rock. I think they made the mistake of having, top top 10 hits early on in their career, which is just not done if you're a prog band. But they're a really technical, brilliant band. Love them. You may have seen on my channel spotlight that I did on a Swedish band called Ritual. Well, in the coming weeks and months I shall be doing a spotlight on It Bites, so look out for that when it comes along. Another relatively modern band, a neo-progressive rock band, is Merian. I've got them in the next place. I've lost count now, so I'll have to write at the top here which position this is. Brilliant album, this one, Misplaced Childhood, one of my favourites. But you can't argue that they have had a huge effect on the progression of progressive rock, in terms of, you know, they've sort of reinvented it for a whole generation that wouldn't have known about it perhaps, or whatever. There you go. Next I've got Nectar. People often mistakenly think these as a German band, but they are actually British. So I've got them here. So number 14, I've got Renaissance. Yeah, what can I say about them? Well, this record I got, I bought this on my 40th birthday, and I bought it just moments before my good friend Patrick Erickson told me that he'd arranged for me to meet up with band members from Änglagård, a Swedish progressive rock band, and I thought he was joking. Anyway, I was in the shop flipping through records and this was in my hand, and I quickly bought it because I didn't want to miss it, and we went to a cafe, and yeah, lo and behold, Änglagård come and met me for my birthday when I was 40. Brilliant. It's what, almost 15 years ago now. I've still got the price sticker on the back, 99 krona I spent for this. There you go, brilliant album. Anyway, Renaissance, fantastic band. So that was, I think, 15, 14. This is Slade in the next position. Lovely band. I really like this music that Dave Slade et al. Made. Check out Slade if you don't know them. Then again, yeah, I have to include Barclay James Harvest. Kind of have a bit of a love-hate relationship with them. They've made so many records, and they're not the most, yeah, they're not the most sort of fiery of bands, are they? But they certainly have longevity, and yeah, I still don't have all their records, but I grab them when I do see them in the wild. Then I'm going to have to include Hawkwind, obviously Hawkwind. Very special band in the subgenre progressive rock, sort of reinvented or invented space rock, I suppose you could argue. And then I'm going to have to include Tramp on this list too. So in number 9 I've put Electric Light Orchestra. I guess, yeah, many people might say that they are perhaps prog light, but well, they certainly are part of the subgenre. Not necessarily very experimental, but there you go, that's Electric Light Orchestra. So now we're in the heavy hitters. So, Gentle Giant, and ironically I've got an American pressing of Octopus to show as a great British band. I don't have the British colour of Octopus. I'd love to, because I really like those Roger Dean covers, but this one will have to do until I find one. Van der Graaf Generator. Very important band, loved by many. So number 6, I've got Emerson, Palmer. Not my favourite band, but they are certainly one of the heavy hitters when it comes to progressive rock. Number 5, I could not have got through this list without including Jeffro Toll, very important progressive rock band. Again, loved by many. Now we're in the top 4. I'm placing King Crimson in the top 4. Number 4th position. One of their most popular albums, this one. Number 3, I've put Pink Floyd. Number 2, I've put Genesis. Brilliant album, this one, fantastic. And the number 1 position, it could only be Yes. I'm showing Fragile here because Fragile was I think my first album by Yes. It was my entry point. I mean, I like all their stuff, especially the classic period. But I think this is a nice cover, and I wanted to show it to represent Yes. So they're in my number 1 position of the great British progressive rock bands. Okay, everybody, I'm sure you've got thoughts and opinions about this, but I just had to get this one out there. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was mildly interesting to some of you. Thanks very much. Check out my next video and have a good day. Bye.